Look at my sunburn. Okay. I bought a lot of fabric, 4 meters to be exact, of this really pretty white, like dotted, like stitched on dots. And I want to make a Mamma Mia inspired dress out of this for my vacation. I'm not going to Greece, but I still want to look like Mamma Mia. We're going to make a ruffled skirt with 3 tiers with just a top that looks like this. I don't know why they always look, my figures always look so buff and really short. I'm going to start with the skirt because I think it needs the most fabric. For the first layer of the skirt, I'm going to do a lining because I don't want people to see my butt. And I really hope that I can just tear, that I can tear the strips. Otherwise, this is going to take forever. Okay, this is the story of how I made a skirt that I wore all summer long every time I went near any kind of water, over my bathing suit, over my bikini that I don't own, and the top that I never wore except to take a photo of this. So enjoy. These are all the strips. Yes, I could tear them. This is an important part. Please pay attention. I'm just rewatching this and I completely forgot to tell you how I made these ruffles. So every ruffle is 1.5 times larger than the ruffle before or than the waistband and 30 centimeters long. On the very left is the waistband, then it's the first layer with the lining, the second and the third layer. The idea of this was correct, but it really didn't work out in the end. You'll see later, but it didn't work out. But in the end, all over, it did work out, but just this part didn't work out, so you'll see. Sorry. Okay, the cutting is done. First things first. Usually I start from the top and I kind of sew down from the ruffles, but somehow that's been annoying me lately and I feel like maybe I can do it from the bottom up. So first I'm going to do the very last ruffle, which is the longest ruffle. And I just quickly have to attach the 2 parts because my fabric was long enough for one whole one. And then I'm going to ruffle it up and attach it to the second and just... First, this is my ironing board, and also I broke it a few years ago, so it doesn't stand up anymore, so I have to iron like this. Also, it's disgusting. After sewing together all the strips that needed to be sewn together to form big, giant strips, I gathered them all along the top edge, starting with the bottom one. And let me tell you, it was a lot of gathering for this. Okay, I was starting to get really hot. I checked the weather. Okay, so we've done the first... Ew, this is a very bad angle. No, it's just me. Okay. So we've made a stitch all along the top edge. And when you do this, make sure to not backstitch at the beginning and end. So like don't close up the seam. So that when you're done, you can just take one of the strings? No, not strings. The threads. Take one side and just pull it. You ruffle it up like this. I'm pretty sure gathering was one of the very first things I learned when I started to sew, and I still really enjoy it. It's somehow really satisfying, especially if you have a fabric that you can gather really easily. Then it's fun. If you have one that's like not gathering, it's really annoying. Here I'm attaching the 2 layers, so the gathered layer with the layer on top, and just look at how much fabric I am smooshing through that sewing machine. Also, my green nails were kind of nice. Mamma Mia, get my sunburn. It's bad, it's not going away. I just finished the last gathering stitch and my machine's doing something weird. It's like not jumping, but there you see? If I remember correctly, I think the thread from the bobbin got loose and got out of the bobbin somehow, and so there was the wrong tension on the machine. I think that's what happened, but I fixed it and the problem vanished, so I'm assuming that was right. I was sure that I could have it done today, but I ran into a problem. I realized that 1.5 of my waist ratio is exactly my hip ratio, so not ratio, circumference. This is what I was talking about earlier. So the first layer was right around my hips and it was very tight and didn't look good. It really frames the butt and that was not what I was going for. So now I think the only solution, except like throwing it away and starting a new, which I don't want to do, is to add like a really gross anesthetic little like line down the back, like an extra layer to each layer, and have like an ugly double seam at the butt. It's gonna look really bad. It feels bad and painful to be doing this because it would look really bad. I already know it will. I'm gonna have it right over my butt. It's gonna look like diapers. But I'm gonna just add this along the side and then continue where we left off. Yep, I had to add a whole additional mini skirt. Here you can see the seam along the whole side of the dress. No, not a dress, it's a skirt. But really, honestly, up until this moment, now rewatching it, I forgot that I did that and I never really noticed it when I wore it, so that's kind of cool, I guess. And it, drama for nothing. This was not a problem, so yeah. For the waistband, I added some interfacing just to make it a bit more secure. And then I sewed it to the last gather, wrong sides together. I just stuffed it all in there and pinned it in before taking it to my sewing machine. Oh, hi. But I'll explain that more in detail now because I am convinced that that is what you're here for and this is what you want to know. I fixed it and I attached the waistband and I think it looks really nice. Obviously now you see the red skirt under it. Wait. Can you see? So, this is really obvious right now, but it's because of the red. Without the red, I don't think it would be that much. Wait, see? Like, you obviously still see that, but I don't want people to see my butt, so this is what we're doing. Next step, I'm gonna iron it flat, because it's still pretty poofy here. And kind of just iron it down, and then top stitch the back side on. It's awkward without my face. I'm gonna attach it with some hooks. So I got like these little, like hook and eyes, but in big. And I have like 2 of them on there, and that way I can always adjust it if I ever need to. I'm pretty pumped about this. Do people still say that? Am I old? Please nobody answer that. This is the first time I made like a fitted waistband with interfacing, and I really liked how it turned out. I had to play around with it a bit to make it work and make it look clean. But something new I can now do, and I'm pretty proud. It's not a big thing, but it looked really clean, it looked nice. I'm happy. That's it. So I finished the side up until, I don't know, a little more than halfway down the first layer. This is what it looks like open. It's later going to be folded in on this side as well. That's like the final thing we're going to do. And so to finish this raw edge, you can cut it off a bit so it's not as much fabric, and then fold it in like this. And then fold it in like this. Obviously do that a bit cleaner and with an iron, and then you top stitch down here and later down here, and then you have a clean end. I'm sure there's a better way of doing this. I don't know it, so this is how I'm doing it. If somebody knows better, teach me please. I hope that put everybody in a relaxed mood because it's time for the top that was worn exactly one time. These are all the pieces. It's from a pattern, a simplicity pattern, I think. And honestly, there was nothing wrong with it. I think it's just not my style. I used a lining because, as I mentioned, is that a Red Bull? Oh my god, I must have been stressed. In the next clip, please excuse my washing machine having a tantrum. Okay, it's the day later, The skirt is completely done. Didn't do much today except freak out that I had a lot to do. Then I went to the gym, which was good, but also then I didn't have a lot of time left. And then I showered, and now there's a thunderstorm outside. So, anyway, here is the skirt and my half-packed suitcase. This is the outside layer with my pretty dotted fabric. This here is the lining, not ironed, of course. And here is the interfacing with an accidental dart already cut out. I don't know if you're supposed to do that. Here is a loop. It's going to be cut into 5 pieces. And these are all the straps. Okay, so the more stressed I get, like the more antsy I get to finish projects, the more I fuck up. So I was supposed to attach the interfacing to the outside fabric, so the pretty fabric, and not the lining, and I attach it to the lining, and I don't know if that's gonna make a difference. But now I've had a crazy idea, and I don't know if it's really dumb. I think the interfacing I chose is just a bit too thick, because if I put this on, like on my body, it's just a bit like an armor. Like it's very not soft. Like I'm this close to just tearing it out and doing it without. Would it look weird? Is it weird if I just leave it in the side? Ah! Fuck it. I feel like this is too easy. Should it be this easy to pull it out? Okay. Just the lining.
In order for you to really immerse yourself into the experience, I'm going to show you the next part completely rushed through because that is exactly how I felt at this point. I hope you enjoyed that immersive experience. Lastly, we added the loops. Oh, also I left the interfacing on the sides and it sucked. I wouldn't recommend.